Can we ask me a question, Ryan?
Yes, you may, Percy. Go ahead. Thank you. Percival Young. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Ryan. Graham, welcome. Welcome. Can I kind of ask you? You've been with the camp now in Bloemfontein for the past, I think, 2-3 weeks now. What's the mood like in the camp at the moment, especially for you guys coming from abroad? And just the second part of that question is, we heard one of my colleagues just asked the question that the British and Irish Lions, they are playing against Japan this coming weekend. Just your thoughts on you playing the Japan. What do you think they will give, and what type of exercise will the British and Lions get out of that test match against Japan, sir?
Yeah, the first question has been great. Obviously, we haven't been around each other for going on close to 2 years. So there was obviously always going to be a good vibe. It's always exciting to be in camp with the box. And then, yeah, obviously, I think everybody saw in the World Cup the style of rugby that Japan played. It's an expansive game. They run a lot. So obviously, we don't know what the British and Irish Lions are going to bring, but I'm assuming because the coaching staff for Japan are pretty much the same, I think they'll try and do exactly the same thing, that expansive running sort of rugby.
Thank you, Malcolm. And the next question goes to Mark Gleeson.
Malcolm, are you a little bit worried that you've lost this momentum of almost 2 years without international rugby, that it's going to be quite different when you step back onto the park again against Georgia and then obviously the Lions? Is there sort of a fear inside you that, yeah, it's been so long since that cup final that, you know, we might have a little bit, you might not be as sharp as you normally would be?
For me personally, not really. I mean, it's not an excuse for anybody because we haven't played for that long. I mean, it's a world pandemic. Nobody's had the benefit of the doubt just because they've been in different countries. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to play, and that's something we're going to have to deal with. But for me personally, no.
Thank you, Malcolm. And the next question is to Phila Sande.
Thanks, Ryan. Good to see you, Malcolm. Just wanted to find out, you know, there's obviously competition for places for that final squad that will be trimmed down. Just looking at, you know, your position, you know, there's new guys now, and Skara's probably not so new, but a guy like Joseph that's come in now. You know, is there good competition for places? I mean, there's always going to be good competition for places between yourself and sort of the usual guys like Bongi around. But, you know, I think Joseph now adds a bit of a different dynamic to what Skalk would have brought to the World Cup squad. How is it in terms of, you know, just the competition for places in the squad?
In my opinion, I think it's pretty healthy. All of us keeping each other on our toes, making sure that we're training and performing at the best we can, week in and week out. And I think that's all that we can ask for. Making sure that we're on top of our game, knowing that there's guys ahead of you and maybe guys that are behind you that are pushing to make you a better player and to make themselves better. So, in my opinion, I think it's healthy, making sure that, you know, we're all sort of on top of the game all the time.
Hey, Ryan, did you say me? Okay, I'll just go ahead. Hi, Malcolm. You mentioned Japanese rugby being expansive and obviously there's a high tempo there. I guess that means that conditioning-wise, you guys who play there are in pretty good nick. How are you for the sort of physical side, though? The fitness when it comes to bashing bodies against each other?
Yeah, obviously we won't know right now. We'll obviously have to see if we get selected in to play the first test against Georgia in those games. The game over there is extremely quick. I'm not saying it's not physical. It's still a challenge. It just brings a different type of challenge. But I think, we'll just have to see what happens if we selected for the test against Georgia to see where we are physically and fitness-wise.
Sorry about that. The next question goes to Heinz Schenk.
Hi, Malcolm. Nice to see you again. Just on Japan, just a personal question. It's been about a year since you actually had your agreement in place now, and you've gone on your Japanese adventure. Just as a player from a psychological perspective, and just as a person, how's Japan been?
Yeah, it's been really good. Obviously, a great experience. I didn't know obviously what to expect going there after the World Cup, but obviously being there for the World Cup, it made it a really good experience. It's a great place to live. Obviously, learning different things there as well. Yeah, psychologically, it's been pretty good.
Okay, so we're going to go with one more question to Malcolm, and it goes to Simon Rickert. Hello, Simon. You can go ahead.
Hi, Malcolm. Your
Hello.
opinion on Saturday's game? Obviously, a wide wake-up rugby. What would you, as a player, say would be the advice that you would give the players, the South African players preparing for the upcoming competition later in this year? How do we adjust? Is it a question of go play there and adjust? How do you prepare?
I'm sorry, can you just repeat that? The first half of the question I couldn't hear.
Okay. Do you want the first half of the question?
Yes.
Just reflecting on the weekend's game and the result, the expectancy from South African players when they went overseas, when they played the game in Treviso, and the result, obviously. And is this an indication of what players can expect, obviously, in future? How do they prepare? How do players expect to be trained and to be coached to be adaptable to go and win in Europe?
I think like Jock said, different coaches have different coaching methods and different styles of play. Obviously, watching on the weekend, Northern Hemisphere rugby is obviously different to Southern Hemisphere rugby, and yeah, I wouldn't be able to answer that question because I'm obviously not a coach, and obviously it's the first game that I've seen the South African side play against the Northern Hemisphere side. So I think, yeah, obviously we're just going to have to see how games go going forward, and see where we can improve. Obviously I'm not playing for a franchise in South Africa at the moment, so I wouldn't know what to expect or what to do. I think one of the guys that are actually playing in a South African franchise might be able to answer that question.